Good afternoon, happy Tuesday. Welcome to the Tuesday Tune In. If this is the first time you're tuning in, this is a video series that I'm doing every week, which gives you an opportunity to reflect on a different topic, often something that's come up for me recently in the week, or things that I'm working on. And it's really a chance to ask yourself some questions and reflect and maybe learn a little bit more about yourself. So everything that I share in these videos is super important to me, and I believe super important in terms of our growth as people, and it's all about learning. Every single thing we do is about learning, and that's what this is all about. But the topic that I want to share with you today is super important to me because it has made a really big impact on my life. So the topic is consciousness. Now, an easy way to think about what this means is to think of awareness. So in all of the things that we do in our life, in our behavior, in our patterns, the things that we tend to do without thinking about them, what we expect from the world, from situations around us, from other people, and maybe also what we accept in our life, the things that we are willing to take on or not take on. All of this, we want to get really clear on why. Why do we have that behavior? Why are we making those choices? Why are we associating with the people that we associate with? Because I think that's where we can get a sense of, we get power over it. There's nothing worse, and I'm so passionate about this, than people being pulled through their life without a sense that they are in any way getting to determine what it's about. You know, there's this sense of rolling through the days and having life happen to you. Consciousness and awareness is how you get to shift that. So let's make this tangible. So I want you to think about a couple of areas of your life. Oh man, my hair is not a good hair day. So let's start with relationship. So whether that's relationships with a significant other, or with your friends, or with close family members, your career, your occupation, your job, where you're at now, how you feel about that, where you want to go in the future. Maybe you're doing some study. Maybe you are trying to start a family. Maybe this is about exercise. So what is it that you do with your spare time to help yourself stay fit? Maybe it's about a hobby that you do. I'm just using this as a prompt for you to think about everything that you do in your life. And the question is, why are you doing those things? So it might seem like a really obvious answer. So if I was to say to you, why do you feel compelled to go to the gym 5 days a week? So you might have a very easy, off the top of your head answer to that. But I'd love for you to dig a little bit deeper. And a way that you can do that is take any of these examples, so career, relationships, family, exercise regime, whatever it is, and imagine that you don't have that in your life anymore, or you can't do that thing. How does it make you feel? I want you to listen very carefully to the thoughts that come into your mind when you imagine that thing being removed. So if the thought that comes in is, well, then I wouldn't be worth anything, I think it's something to get pretty serious about. If the answer is, without that thing, I would feel as if I wasn't contributing to the world, or I am not going to bring joy into my life, then maybe that's a thing worth doing. This is very value laden for me, but it's based on my experiences and the things that I believe really make our life worth living. So ask yourself those questions, why you're doing them. If you're really happy with the answers, on a kind of deep level, then absolutely go for it and commit to it. If it's something you've actively chosen, you've consciously chosen that you want this thing in your life, give your full self to it. There's nothing more beautiful than that. If you're not happy with the answers, if you notice that some of the reasons you are doing certain things in your life are because of should or have to or expectation, then maybe it's time to get a little bit clear about whether you're willing to accept that in your life or not anymore. So I think the reason this is important, or another way to think about this, is that it's linked to this idea of living on purpose. And I don't mean finding your purpose. I think I talked about that in the last or a couple of videos ago, that it can be a downward spiral. There's a lot of expectation around finding your purpose. Living with purpose, and I read this in a book during the week and it made me feel really comforted. I think it means that you are purposeful in your actions. So whether it's to give joy, to feel joy, to have fun, and yes, they are legitimate things to do anything for. In and of itself, doing something for joy is completely allowed, permission granted. And I say that because it's still something that is a little bit tricky for me. Maybe the driving force behind your behavior or your actions or what it is that you're doing is contribution. Maybe this is the thing, this is the way that you feel you are connecting to your community and you're doing something good in the world. Maybe that's your driving force. Maybe your driving force is connection. So maybe it's you have this relationship and you want to give time to that. So when you make decisions about how you're going to use that time on the weekend, your driving force is connection. Maybe the driving force for why you are doing a certain thing in your life is expansion and growth. And learning is such a beautiful thing. We always want to be learning and evolving. So these are some of the things that might make you feel good about the choices that you're making. However, as I mentioned before, if some of those things are motivated or the driving force is I should be doing this degree so I can get that qualification and get XYZ job because that's what my parents expect of me, then get really clear that that's something you want as a motivating force in your life. Okay? If the driving force is I should do it because then people will like me more, then are you happy with that? Is that something you're willing to align your life with? And the reason I am so passionate about this is because every time we make a choice about what we are doing, we get to make that choice. So if you commit yourself to anything, like, doing a new course or, going to the gym 5 days a week, what is the driving motivation? You get to decide. And if it's not something that serves you, if you feel like it comes from a place of pressure, make that choice. Do you want that to be what motivates you or not? Either way, it's absolutely your choice, and we cannot sit back and blame anybody else or our circumstances for making our life the way that it is, because we get to choose. So consciousness is about getting clear on why we are doing the things we're doing, getting clear if we want those things to be a driving force, and then taking responsibility. So I hope that doesn't come across too forceful. I realize I'm actually getting a bit red in the cheeks because this is such a huge platform, I think, for us to really take responsibility for our lives and live it the way that we want to. We all have the freedom to do that. And it means so very much to me. And I hope that that's something for you to think about. Why? Why are you doing what you're doing? And if you're happy with that, great. If you're not, fix it. It's completely up to you and it's all within your power. Okay, that's enough for me for this Tuesday. I love you very much and I'll see you next week. Mwah!